I want you to close your eyes for a second and transport yourself to Lagos, Nigeria. It's 2012. You are standing in the middle of a megacity. We're talking 20 million people. It's vibrant, it's chaotic, it's loud. But look down at your feet.
You're not just standing on pavement.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You're standing on trash.
Ugh.
And we aren't talking about, a stray wrapper here or there.
No, this is a crisis. I mean, picture streets that are literally clogged with plastic bottles, storm drains just completely choked with refuse.
And because this is a tropical climate, when it rains, and it rains hard, those blocked drains mean the water has nowhere to go.
You get these massive stagnant floods. It's a health nightmare. It's a breeding ground for malaria.
To put a number on that, back in 2012, the city was collecting only about 40% of its own waste.
Which means 60% was just sitting there and recycling. Forget about it. Maybe 13%. The system just couldn't cope.
It really feels like a hopeless situation. But the reason we're doing this deep dive today is because one company looked at those mountains of garbage and didn't see a disaster.
They saw currency.
Exactly. They saw a bank account. We are talking about Wecyclers.
And Wecyclers isn't just a garbage company. It's really a rewards for recycling platform that turned trash into a tradable asset.
And our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how they did it. Because this is a masterclass in operations. We're going to look at how they combined super low-tech cargo bikes.
Oh, their surprisingly high-tech data system using SMS.
To create a circular economy where garbage trucks literally couldn't fit. And we have to talk about how they survived some massive shocks.
Oh, yeah. Global oil price crashes, local politics, just the challenge of getting people to trust them.
So let's start at the beginning. Who looks at a blocked, smelly drain in Lagos and thinks, you know what? Business opportunity.
Her name is Bilikiss Adabi Abiola. And her story is really interesting because she sort of straddles two worlds. She grew up in Lagos. She saw this crisis firsthand.
Okay, so she's not an outsider.
Not at all. But then she went to the U.S. for her MBA at MIT Sloan.
So she's in this, high-level academic innovation bubble.
Right. And while she's there, she's trying to solve what she called the twin crises back home. The waste crisis and the urban poverty crisis.
And her big idea was that they're connected.
They're completely connected. You can't solve one without the other. You can't just clean the streets if people can't afford to eat.
So in 2012, she teams up with a classmate, Alexandra Fallon, and they head back to Lagos. They launch Wecyclers. But where do they start?
They start small in a community called iTire. And they specifically targeted these low-income neighborhoods where the big municipal garbage trucks, they just couldn't go.
The streets are too narrow, unpaved.
Exactly. The infrastructure wasn't there. So they realized if the trucks can't fit, you have to improvise. They recruited local youth guys like Leakin, Sunday, and Tunde to ride these custom-made cargo bikes.
The Wecycles.
The Wecycles, yeah.
Okay, but let's pause on the logic here. You can send guys on bikes to pick up trash, sure. But why would anyone give it to them? If I'm living hand to mouth, why am I going to bother sorting my plastic for some stranger?
That is the million-dollar question. And the answer is, you make it worth their while, you turn it into cash. Or, well, something just as good.
This is the incentive-based recycling system. Walk me through it. I'm a resident. How does it work?
Okay, so first, you sign up. It's free. Then you do the work of sorting your waste plastics, cans, paper.
Standard stuff so far.
Then the Wecyclers rider comes to your door. They weigh your sorted trash right there in front of you. And for every kilogram you give them, you earn points.
What's the exchange rate on that?
It's around 10 to 15 points per kilo. And 1 point is basically 1 naira.
Okay, so I give them a few kilos of bottles. I get some points. How do I know? Do they give me a receipt?
No, and this is the clever part. Back in 2012, everyone had a basic mobile phone. Right, a feature phone.
Right, not a smartphone.
Exactly. So the moment they weigh your trash, you get an SMS text message. You've earned 50 points. Your new balance is X. It turned every basic phone into a digital wallet.
That's very smart. It's like a bank account for the unbanked.
It was. But points are useless unless you can spend them. And this is what really drove people to sign up. You could redeem those points for essential goods.
Like what?
Rice, cooking oil, mobile airtime, things people were already spending their cash on.
But I read the one that really got people's attention was different.
It was school fees.
Wait, you could pay for your kid's school with plastic bottles?
Yes. You could transfer your points directly to the school. And that created this powerful link. Suddenly, that pile of plastic in the corner isn't garbage. It's your child's education.
That is an incredible incentive.
But
I have to play devil's advocate. Wecyclers is a business, not a charity.
Correct. A social enterprise, but it has to make money.
So where's the money coming from? They're giving away rice and paying school fees. Who is paying them?
They're a supply chain intermediary. They take all this waste to their local hubs, they sort it, clean it, crush it into these big bales.
They're creating a product, essentially.
Exactly. Secondary raw materials. Then they sell those bales to local recycling plants in Lagos.
And who's buying?
Manufacturers who need polyester fiber to make mattresses or paper mills making tissue. By 2019, none of the waste they collected ever left Lagos. It was all feeding local industry.
So the bottle I throw away comes back as the pillow I sleep on. That's a true circular economy.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
But it was never that simple. Operating in a place like Lagos is just incredibly difficult.
I can only imagine. Let's get into the challenges because this was not a straight line to success.
Not at all. The first huge hurdle was just logistics. Lagos traffic is legendary. The go slow, they call it.
So if your whole business is moving stuff around the city,
You're in big trouble. You'll spend all day in traffic and collect nothing. A centralized model was impossible, so they had to adopt a hub-and-spoke model.
raining.
They set up small collection hubs right inside the neighborhoods they were serving. It cut down on travel time.
Decentralized.
And to really scale that, they introduced a franchise model, an independent contractor program.
It's like a McDonald's for recycling.
Sort of. Local entrepreneurs could own the bikes, run their own little micro hub. It offloaded the cost and the operational headache from Wecyclers, and it created even more local business owners.
That's smart. It solves the traffic problem and helps them scale. But what about the money? You said they sell the plastic, but commodity prices are volatile, right?
Extremely. And that was challenge number 2, financial sustainability. The price of recycled plastic is tied to the global price of oil.
How does that work?
Well, new virgin plastic is made from oil. So when oil prices crash, brand new plastic becomes super cheap.
And a manufacturer says, why would I buy your recycled plastic when the new stuff is cheaper?
Precisely. The price for scrap plastic just tanks. But Wecyclers has a fixed cost. They've promised households a certain number of points per kilo if the market price drops below that.
They're losing money on every single bottle. A death spiral.
It almost was. They realized they couldn't just be a commodity seller. They had to diversify. They started partnering with big corporations, Unilever, Coca-Cola, who had corporate social responsibility budgets.
The CSR funds.
Yeah. They basically said, we can help you meet your sustainability targets. So these big companies would help subsidize the rewards because Wecyclers was effectively cleaning up their packaging for them.
That's a huge pivot. They became a sustainability service provider.
It saved them. But then there was a third challenge, maybe the hardest one, culture.
Right. The skepticism.
It was deep.
Yeah.
You knock on someone's door and ask for their garbage, they think it's a scam. Or worse. And there's a stigma that handling waste is dirty work.
So how do you break through that?
By integrating. Hiring staff from the neighborhood was key. These weren't strangers, they were your neighbors. And then, just seeing it work.
The fear of missing out.
Exactly. When one person on the street gets a free bag of rice for their bottles, the next week, everyone on the street is saving their bottles. And people saw the bigger picture. The drains were clearer, there were fewer mosquitoes, less malaria.
It's amazing that a public health benefitless malaria becomes a selling point for a recycling business.
It's that double bottom line. You can't separate the social from the economic.
And they had to deal with the government, I assume.
That was the fourth big challenge, yeah. Regulatory uncertainty. They had to be very careful to position themselves as partners with the Lagos Waste Management Authority, Law MN, not competitors.
We're going where your trucks can't go. We're helping.
Exactly. We're complementary. And it worked. Eventually, the government started adopting similar cash for trash ideas, which really validated the whole model.
So after a decade of grinding through all that, what do the impact numbers look like?
Environmentally, they were aiming for over 5,000 tons of waste collected per year by 2020. That's a huge amount of plastic kept out of the ocean.
Yeah.
But the economic impact is what gets me. By 2019, they'd created around 200 direct jobs.
What kind of jobs?
Writers, sorters, hub managers, and get this, 60% of that workforce are women, especially in the sorting and management roles.
And the pay.
The writers can earn up to 150,000 naira a month. That's 4 to 8 times the national minimum wage. It's life-changing.
Wow. And they had over 17,000 families signed up by that point.
So that's 17,000 households that fundamentally change how they see waste. It's not refuse anymore. It's a resource.
Okay, so they survived the startup phase. They navigated the crashes. They proved the model. What's next? Are they just adding more bikes?
No, the vision now is much bigger. First, they're expanding beyond the slums. They partnered with the Sahara Group Foundation to launch new hubs in middle-income areas.
Taking recycling mainstream.
Pretty much. But the really exciting part is the tech, and not SMS tech. I mean, like, heavy chemistry.
Oh, no.
In 2023, they started a pilot with BASF called Waste-to-Chemicals.
What does that even mean?
It's a huge leap. See, normal mechanical recycling is great for, like, a clean water bottle, but it's really hard for dirty styrofoam or multi-layer chip bags.
The stuff that usually just ends up in a landfill.
Right. But this new pilot uses chemical recycling. They use a process called pyrolysis to basically turn that difficult plastic back into oil.
Back into the oil it came from.
Exactly. And that oil can be used to make brand new virgin quality plastic. You're not downcycling it into a park bench. You are truly closing the loop.
That is a game changer. That makes the trash they collect so much more valuable.
It does. It makes the whole business model more robust against those oil price shocks we talked about. And the company itself is maturing. Billikis handed the CEO role to her brother, which shows they're building an institution, not just a startup.
So what's the big takeaway from this deep dive?
For me, it's that Wecyclers worked because they customized a global idea recycling to a very local reality. They didn't just copy-paste a Western model. They looked at the narrow streets, the poverty, the lack of bank accounts, and they designed a solution specifically for those constraints.
And they proved that environmental sustainability and poverty alleviation aren't separate issues.
They actually drive each other. That's the key.
Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Wecyclers monetize trash. They turn garbage into a commodity. But as they move into this high-tech chemical recycling, that garbage becomes more and more valuable.
I think I see where you're going with this.
It raises a big question. If trash becomes the new gold mine, who actually owns the rights to the garbage in your bin? Right now, we think of it as something we pay to get rid of.
But what if companies start bidding to get access to it?
Exactly. If waste is wealth, are we all just giving away a valuable asset for free every week?
The ownership of waste, that is a fascinating legal and ethical frontier.
Something to think about. That's it for this deep dive into Wecyclers. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Mission Possible, innovating for the world's most marginalized. This podcast is built on the outstanding work of our students, whose curiosity and commitment drive much of the research and storytelling you hear. Each episode is grounded in academic research and shaped through close collaboration with our partners. To learn more about the research and partnerships behind this podcast, feel free to contact us. Thank you for joining.